No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. We're going all the way so you can score more for your trade-in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV today. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
It's time for the Postgame Show from Bronco Nation News. We're breaking down the game with highlights, interviews, analysis, and most importantly, you. Give your thoughts on the game in the YouTube chat or Facebook comments, and we'll include the best ones on the show. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Postgame Show from Bronco Nation News.
Well, greetings, Boise State fans. Welcome here courtside, ExtraMile Arena. This is the Lithia Ford of Boise post-game show. My name is BJ Rains, and we got for a couple minutes Abe Jackson. You just heard him on the call on 670 KBOI with Bob Beeler. Happy call on the radio side as Boise State comes down with a 84-71 win. And again, we are here for the next 30, 45 minutes, an hour, as long as it goes. We'll have interviews with Coach Leon Rice and players. We got highlights as well. Jaden Finch working hard behind the scenes. But we are back from San Jose, and it was a fun basketball game today, a 1-point game at the half. And Abe, that second half, Boise State really pulling away for a nice 13-point win.
Yeah, it was. And really the key thing about this was it was a total team effort. I mean, everybody who played scored at least 3 points. There was 9 players for Boise State who played. You take a look at Clemson, and they really had one guy who shone for them. And then other than that, it fell off really quickly. For the Broncos, 3 players in double digits, 9 players scored. The bench was huge, 21-8 on bench points in the Broncos' favor. So one of the better team wins that I can remember over a team that is going to get some pretty solid wins this year. So this is going to be a game that helps you out all season long.
Yeah, I'll ask you more about that later on. But I thought Tyson Degenhart was obviously aggressive early on, 16 of his 20 in the first half tonight. He finishes with 20 points, 11 rebounds. And obviously your best player, your preseason conference player of the year, you want him to step up. And obviously 30 points for Chase Hunter. He had 20, I think, in the first half. So it was kind of him and Tyson going back and forth. But I thought the aggressiveness, we saw Tyson hit the 3 from the corner over there in the first half. I thought Tyson, especially in the first half, when it didn't start out great, really helped the Broncos tonight.
Yeah, and what Tyson did too is he drew 8 fouls on Clemson. And a lot of that was driving the ball. I think he had 2 or 3 possessions in a row where he drew fouls on Clemson players. And that helped because the Broncos shot a bunch of free throws in the first half. I think they were 14 out of 15, I believe, in the first half from the free throw line. Tyson's talked about where did he want his game to improve, and it was putting the ball on the deck and getting to the hoop. We saw him do that for a couple buckets, and then he did that and got fouls on Clemson. And when you do that, it changes your substitution that Clemson had to do, gets you to the free throw line, and the free throws were so important in that first half. It's what got the Broncos that 1-point lead at half.
Andrew Meadow, career high 18 points, tied a career high with 9 rebounds. He goes 7 of 7 from the foul line, but just his confidence level. He gets the ball in a spot where he's open. He's going to let it fly. Had a couple of huge shots tonight, but an emerging star here in Andrew Meadow.
Well, you can just see his confidence. You can see how he acts on the court is just so much like he's had a season under his belt than it was last year. And so Tyson said in the interview that we had with him that everybody on the team and in the coaching staff has the confidence in every single shot really that Andrew takes, even some shots that might look ill-advised. He says those are ones we know he can make. And so I think Andrew Meadow, you are going to see him just keep progressing this year and become more and more a part of this offense. And then also his rebounding. He was 1 rebound short from having a double-double with ending up with 9 boards.
27 of 30 from the foul line as well for Boise State. He obviously took advantage. The total fouls, I don't think, was a huge discrepancy. I guess it was 24 to 17. I didn't think Boise State got like a homer whistle or anything at home. I thought fouls were fouls, but to go 27 of 30 from the foul line, that's obviously, can be big for in closer games down the stretch. When you got a team that can shoot well from the free throw line, that's obviously big.
Well, a lot of times you take a look at the free throws and you think, well, Boise State got all the calls, but a lot of it depends on how the team is playing that you're playing against. Clemson was very, very aggressive on the perimeter, and that led to a lot of fouls, sweeping through, getting those body checks. And so the way that Clemson was playing led to a lot of those fouls. The Broncos matched their aggression. Clemson's defensive aggression, Broncos matched that on the offensive end, and that's what got them to the line. And then, of course, they stepped up and knocked down a huge amount.
Clemson went 15 of 20 themselves, but I thought the rebounding battle, and again, he's Abe Jackson for a couple more minutes. You can hear him every game, pregame, during the game, postgame, him and Bob Bueller over on 670 KBOI. Abe is with the Bronco Radio Network in Learfield, and nice enough to join us on the postgame show here, as we hopefully will most games here moving forward. Definitely down in the Cayman. We're going to try to make that happen. Abe and me are going to head down there. Abe's going solo down there in the Cayman Islands.
It's going to be 3 games in 3 days. So if you want to hear my voice leave my body, tune in on that third game.
That post game show after they hopefully win the championship down there in Cayman. We'll sneak something into your coffee or something. I don't know.
We go.
Abe, the rebounding battle. I know this was a big key. They lost by 15 at Clemson last year when we were there. They just got dominated on the glass. And I know it's crazy. There's a lot of different stats that can correlate to a winning a game. But it seems like in the Leon Rice era, when you win the rebound battle, you got a pretty good chance of winning the game. And certainly down at San Francisco last week, lost the rebound battle and lost the game, and won the rebound battle tonight by 8. I thought a spirited effort on the glass.
Yeah, I think so too. And there's a lot of new players on this team, right? And so there's one thing to hear coaches say, we have to win the rebounding, we have to win it. But then there's another thing to actually see you lose a game, and a lot of that be because of the rebounding at San Francisco. So you go through a game like that, and guys that haven't been in the program or really even at Division I that long, and you see, okay, that's what they mean. They mean that, yes, I do have to hold that block out a little longer, or that rotation is something I have to do because we'll lose the rebound battle. Everybody did a great job on the boards. There was a couple. Omar Stanley got one over 2 Tigers in the first half, and I think Tyson got one over 3 Clemson players in the second half that led to a Boise State bucket. So the rebounding was huge. The Broncos were the more physical team, even though height-wise and maybe even weight-wise they were the smaller team. It was a great job.
You mentioned the bench earlier, but 21 points off the bench tonight. Emmanuel Ugbo had only played 8 minutes, 44 seconds, but he had 3 back-to-back huge buckets down at this end. Bowie had a big bucket at one point.
Well, Javen Buchanan almost brought the house down on one of his threes, too.
Keene as well had a huge 3. I mean, just seemed like whoever came in tonight produced. And, I mean, you still had your 38.5 minutes from Degenhardt, 38 minutes from Cardenas. But when you can get production from your bench and to have – I mean, there were games early last season where the bench didn't even score. And to get 21 points against Clemson and an ACC team in a big battle like this, that's a huge sign for me moving forward here when you can, go to your bench and expect those guys to still produce.
Yeah, exactly. And what it's going to do, it might take that 39 minutes from Tyson, 38 minutes from Al Cardenas, and bring those down to maybe 34 and 32, because you can go to some guys on your bench and you have trust and faith in them that they're going to produce and not hurt you when you're out there. This was a huge game for that, not only in the win column, but for guys that are brand new to this program to get some solid minutes in a big time environment against a team that's going to get some big wins this year in Clemson. So I think this game's going to pay dividends all year long, confidence-wise, win-wise, and then probably in March, they're going to look back on this and say, 13-point win by the Broncos over Clemson. That's pretty solid.
I was going to say Boise State back up to 35 at Ken Palm, so they move another 10 spots up or so, and kudos to Brad Brunell and Clemson for coming out here and playing this game too. I mean, this was certainly a game where they could have just paid the $100,000 and said heck with this, but they came out here, tested themselves. It's going to be a long flight home tonight for them.
It is
after a loss, but obviously it was a good home and home, and you hope that's the type of series Boise State can continue to get, because it does benefit both teams.
It makes it worthwhile for teams to come out here. One, knowing that if you get a win against Boise State on their home court, it could end up being a quad one win the entire season and really help your resume. Yes, you do have to travel quite a ways, but I think that just the better this program gets, the better Boise State gets, the more times they go to the NCAA tournament, I think you'll find some more of these home and homes where teams are thinking, you know what, this is worth it to us to go out there. It's not like it was, 20 years ago or so, where no one would come out here because it was a lose-lose. You win, you should have beat Boise State, you lose, and it was a really bad loss. It's not like that anymore. So I think you're going to see some big teams doing some home and homes with Boise State in the future.
We mentioned the Cayman Islands tournament. I mean, how do you spin this thing forward for Boise State? I know some fans, whatever, were a little disappointed, obviously, with the San Francisco game, but you bounce back this week with 2 nice wins. You got a chance, frankly, to win that tournament. I mean, that you look at it on paper, they're the
Sure.
premier team in that tournament.
Sure.
And I think anything less than a championship in that tournament at this point would be a disappointment. Maybe in the championship you lose to Boston College or somebody, but on paper, they should win this tournament, get 3 wins. You come back with another win, and you got Washington State. I mean, this team, you look at it on paper, should be maybe 8-1, 9-1, going whatever it is going into that St. Mary's game here in a couple weeks. I mean, it's an opportunity for this team to get on a little bit of a roll here.
It is. In basketball, there's so many games, right? There's going to be disappointments, and there's going to be games that you play really well and you come out with wins, and we've already seen that in this season. But a game like this is going to help you go into the Cayman Islands, and I think what also helps you on the trip, you have a lot of new players for Boise State, but you have a lot of veterans too that play some solid minutes, not only with the Broncos, but just at the Division I level. And you need that experience going into a tournament, even though you are the favorite going in. It's 3 games in 3 days in a different country, in a couple different time zones away. There's a lot that you have to deal with going over there to the Cayman Islands to play. But I really like the look of this Bronco team. You knew what you were going to get from Tyson this year. You knew what you were going to get from Omar. You saw Cardenas at San Jose, so you pretty much knew what you were going to get from him this season. But new guys, Buchanan, Bowie, Ugbo, Andrew Meadow, these guys that are newer to the program showed a lot in this game.
Much different feeling right now than late Saturday night after the San Fran game.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
good call.
Couple wins, a nice quality ACC win.
That's what wins will do. That's what wins will do for you. But the thing with basketball too is, I mean, you know this, and the people watching and listening to this, they know this too. Is that there's so many games you're not going to go 35-0 in the season, and you're probably not even going to go 30-5.
Yeah.
There's going to be losses along the way, but it's how do you respond from those losses? What do you learn from those losses? You get out rebounded by 7 at San Francisco against a team that I don't think is as good as Clemson, and then all of a sudden you almost double-digit beat Clemson on the rebounding margin here. So bad loss, it's not a bad loss, tough loss at San Francisco. I still think, I'm going to say it all year until I see something different, I think San Francisco is going to be better than what people think. But you learn from it. The new guys learn from it, more experience, and really, really good win. Can't overstate that enough here this afternoon to ExtraMile, and a great crowd too. I think just under 12,000. You could really hear it get after it on a couple of those buckets.
And it was like early on, I got a couple pictures sent to me, like for 4 or 5 minutes before tip-off. You're thinking, man, there's a lot of open seats down there, but it filled in very nicely. They were into the game, and I certainly think that was a factor tonight.
It was, and this has been a home court advantage. I think it's 15 in a row non-conference wins for the Broncos, and this was one that you kind of looked at with a question saying, are they going to keep that streak alive? but they did. Solid win, 13 points.
Appreciate it, Abe, for your time. And head down Wednesday, Thursday, and then the first game will be, I believe, Sunday, and that's a 9 a.m. Boise game a week from today down there in the Cayman Islands.
I think it's leaving Thursday and then staying over in Atlanta for a day.
Okay.
And then making the trip from Atlanta to Cayman Islands on Friday, get there around noon or 12:30, and I believe that's Eastern time. So I have Friday and then Saturday with some open time, and then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday with games, come back Wednesday. Season is on its way.
You just seem like I don't know, jet ski or what. I see Abe Jackson being the guy where we look up and he's out there parasailing or something crazy.
Whatever I'm going to be doing, there is going to be a lot of white because I do not have a tan under this shirt at all. So it's going to be buckets of sunscreen, but maybe a jet ski. I don't know. I don't know if I'll have time. But maybe some stingrays.
I know we joke about this, but a good opportunity for this team to kind of bond and come a little closer here.
That's why you play the games. You do. You go to these tournaments, one, to get some games against quality opponents on a neutral court, but also to test yourself in a tournament setting. Because what's going to happen in the Mountain West, you're going to have to play 3 games, hopefully in 3 days in the Mountain West tournament. But then also you're on the road. There's time to sometimes get away from basketball a little bit on these trips. Go do something fun together that you might not have an experience like that ever again in your life that basketball is providing for you. So I think this coaching staff does a great job of keeping the team focused and knowing what they have to do, but also knowing that, this is a time that we have to enjoy. We got to take some time and do some fun things here.
Well, again, Abe is going to be broadcasting solo down there on 670 KBOI. Bob's staying back for the football. We're going with the football team to Wyoming. So make sure you're listening to Abe. And we're hoping, time permitting, pregame, postgame for the 3 games down there, Bronco Nation News. I'll be also heading down there to the Cayman Islands as well. So we'll hopefully have some, believe it's a high school gym down there. Have you been down there before?
I haven't been down there.
Okay.
I wasn't able to go last time when they went a few years ago. I know Bob went, and Coach Rice on his post game just with Bob and I said that it's a really good setup. Where you stay is nice. The arena's a good place to play. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, I would call it a gym more than an arena based on the photos I've seen. But,
okay. It's a good gym.
Yeah, appreciate it, Abe. Thanks a lot for your time. And thanks for taping that for pregame show on Friday. And Abe will be down there for 670 KBOI, the Bronco Radio Network in Learfield. And we'll be down there for BNN. And hopefully Sunday morning, I guess it's a 9 a.m. tip-off in Boise, I believe, on Sunday. So we'll have to maybe get the pregame show going about 8 a.m. on Sunday in Boise. So appreciate Abe for stopping by, and have a good week, and we'll see you down in the Cayman Islands, sir.
Sounds good. Thanks, BJ.
Bring your Speedo.
All right.
We appreciate Abe Jackson for joining us. And again, Western Collective, our studio sponsor here at Bronco Nation News. Western Collective, the Horseshoe Golden Nail. The Horseshoe Golden Nail, the Orange Chaos Seltzer. We appreciate Western Collective, our studio sponsor here at Bronco Nation News. And all those away football game watch parties, make sure you're checking out and visiting our friends over at Western Collective, their brewery there in Garden City. And great deals there on pizza, food, all that during the football game away watch parties at Western Collective. RowPaint.com, our title sponsor. I believe we're going to get Andy Rowe on the show tomorrow morning. RowPaint.com, Andy Rowe and Company, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. RowPaint.com, again, they've got the concrete coatings, the interior, exterior painting, a lot of options there at rowpaint.com. And again, our title sponsor, we appreciate them for checking us out here on Bronco Nation News. Tyson Degenhart, he had a big game. We'll talk more about that. 20 points, 11 rebounds, and he is sponsored by Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest, that mobile eBranch online banking right there on your smartphone. Check it out, Tyson Degenhart and Idaho Central Credit Union. And again, ICCU.com. Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. And again, we bought and sold our home with Matt and his team. Kelly Cade, Sarah, the whole crew just did a tremendous job. Very thankful and appreciative for Matt Bauscher and his team and what they did to help us out. And again, the personal attention and service, you can get that yourself visiting BauscherRealEstate.com. We are here on the Idaho Central Credit Union post-game show. We are live at ExtraMile Arena. We are back from San Jose. Big win for the football team last night. Big win for the basketball team today. So if you're a Boise State fan watching this, you had a pretty darn good weekend. And then, my Jayhawks helped you out as well. Don't forget about that. But we appreciate Jaden Finch making this thing run behind the scenes, late night for him and early morning, and he's doing a tremendous job. So we appreciate him for helping the BNN train keep on rolling. And again, Tyson Degenhart, 20 points, 11 rebounds tonight, 38 minutes, 36 seconds. He goes 7 of 10 from the field. Andrew Meadow, 18 points, a career high. Ties a career high with 9 rebounds for him. Omar Stanley, 13 points. And then Alvaro Cardenas only went 1 of 10 from the field, but did have 8 points, 6 assists, and only 1 turnover. So even in a game where he struggles to shoot the ball, he has 6 assists and only 1 turnover and finishes plus 12. So even in a rough shooting game for Al, he impacts this game with 6 assists, only 1 turnover. Also added 4 rebounds as well. Drew 5 fouls. So I thought Alvaro Cardenas, even in a game where he struggled to shoot, impacted the game maybe more than some other point guards and guards have here in the past. Javen Buchanan coming off the bench, 20 minutes, 8 points for him, had 2 huge three-pointers in this game. RJ Keene had a big 3, makes his only shot in 16 minutes. He had a rebound, a couple assists, couple of steals. I thought RJ Keene played a strong game. Julian Bowie, 4 points, and Emmanuel Ugbo, 6 points. I thought E-Man had 3 straight big buckets down here, back-to-back possessions. I thought that was huge with what he did down there early in the second half. And again, 21 bench points for Boise State tonight. So I thought that was just a massive development for Boise State to continue to get production off the bench. And yeah, you're going to lean on your starters, but in a game where Omar Stanley is kind of frustrated by foul trouble, was only able to play 20 minutes. He's still at 13 and 4, but I thought Omar, came in, had the 3 fouls, came in, got a quick 4th foul right away. So I thought in a game like this, to have guys on your bench step up when somebody like Omar could only play 20 minutes, I thought was a big time development for Boise State to get the bench going. Bronco 130, Keene, huge hustler, the 3 at the buzzer. Tulane Boise discussion on Twitter is tiresome. Yeah, I guess they're talking about the group of 5 spot. I don't think it should be that tiresome. I think that Boise State clearly should be. I saw somebody had Army ahead of them in their top 25. Who knows at this point? But Chad Bocut, Alvaro, some incredible passes down in the paint. I agree with you there. Bronco 130, Jayhawks win with sprinkles on the Sunday. Yeah, I agree with that. Shocked to see BYU dropping below Boise State in the AP poll. Going to be interesting to see how it pans out in the CFP poll. Yeah, we will check that out on Tuesday when the rankings come out. Western Collective, the best brewery in Boise. Can't disagree with that. Boise, nice call there. And yeah, check them out in Garden City, right there off the connector. And they got the Horseshoe Golden Ale and all the great options there at Western Collective and their brewery in Garden City. And they'll be there for all of the football away game watch parties. Giving some love to Abe Jackson. Love the work you do. Go Broncos. Thanks, Tall Man Cigar. Yeah, I love his handle right there, Tall Man Cigar. Last time Boise State had 20-plus points off the bench. I'm guessing it's happened more recently than you'd think, just because of the fact that they've had some easy non-conference games where they've played the bench a ton and beaten an Oakland or somebody by a lot of points. But the point, Carson, is valid that Boise State has finally been able to get some big-time points off the bench from this team and this group, and certainly it was a big time performance from Boise State tonight. Again, 84-71, taking down Clemson. Boise State dominated pretty much all the stats. 32 points in the paint. They had 21 bench points. You mentioned 11 fast break points and only 12 turnovers for Boise State as well. Tyson Degenhart, Andrew Meadow. They met with the media after the game. Let's hear from Tyson Degenhart, Andrew Meadow.
It feels great, especially after the way we felt going to their place last year. We learned a lot from that game last year, and it definitely helped us get it done tonight. And just want to thank our fans for showing out. It was a loud atmosphere, probably the loudest we've had in November. So really, really appreciative of that and hoping that we can keep it going.
Talk about the rebounding battle coming in, but you won by 8 tonight, lost by 15 there last year. I mean, how much of an emphasis was that, and how did that play out tonight?
It was one of our keys. If we were able to out-rebound them, we'd give us ourselves the best chance to win, and we did a great job on the glass. There were some stretches that weren't great, but for the most part, we did a great job. I mean, beating that team on the glass by 8's a tremendous effort from our team.
Andrew, you had a career-high 18 points, tied your career high with 9 rebounds. How did it feel to do that against a team that went to the Elite Eight last year?
It feels great. I mean, it feels great right now, but I know there's going to be better games in the future, so I just got to, like Coach says, celebrate today, but tomorrow, right back to work.
Andrew, you look just so much more comfortable out there in year 2. How have things opened up for you?
I think just having the trust in everyone. Like, everyone on the team wants me to shoot. Like, if I have even the slightest of an open look and I don't shoot it, the coaches and everyone gets mad. So just to have that much confidence in me really makes me feel just open, like you said, open and free out there.
Tyson, Andrew had 10 of the last 16 points in that game. How good does it feel to know that you've got someone that can be a closer for you in addition to yourself?
I mean, when you see one go in, you got to find a way to get the ball. So we did a good job down the stretch getting him the ball, especially when he was making them. And to have a guy on our team like this is special. So special player, special person.
Tyson, I mean, you only sat for really a minute in this game. You're obviously aggressive early on. Was this a game that you knew you had, this is your kind of game, you had to kind of take over tonight?
It's definitely one I had to, bring it from the jump. This wasn't a game where we could tiptoe, as coach said, tiptoe into a street fight. It was going to be physical on the glass, physical the whole game. And it wasn't one of those games where we could just come out, slow. We had to come out with a great mentality. I think we did a great job of that tonight.
Tyson, what are you seeing with RJ? You guys were down 9-2. He comes in, and then all of a sudden you're up 12-9. I think it happened in the second half too. Feels like he's finding his role with this team as this boost of energy off the bench. He played well today.
He's played great these 4 games. We call him the connector. He just makes so many winning plays that necessarily won't show up in the stat sheet. A lot of assists, lot of probably hockey assists for him. Just moves the ball for us, does the little things, guards, dives on the floor, does stuff like that, and that's super, super valuable for our team.
I know you're 4 games in, it's 1 game, but just what can a win like this do for you moving forward, but also mean for you come March?
Gives us a lot of confidence. Clemson's a great team. They're going to do well in the ACC this year, and to know that we were able to beat them on our home court will go a long way.
Andrew, obviously, you lost the San Francisco game. Obviously disappointed in that, but to bounce back this week with 2 big wins, now to have kind of a marquee resume win, whatever, now on your belt moving forward here. What do you say?
I think it's great that we got this win. I think it's going to definitely show up for March, and then I think it just gives us a really big confidence boost going into next week in the Cayman Islands, and then when we come back for all those rest of the non-con games.
Tyson, playing with a guard like Omar is not going to say not having the best shooting game, but still impacting the game. 6 assists today. Just how good is it to have a guard like that's just kind of staying in the game and impacting it?
He makes our lives so much easier on the offensive end and the defensive end. The way he pressures the point guard, the way he gets after it, the way he holds us all accountable. He's the engine that runs this team, and we wouldn't be able to win this game without him. So even though he had an off shooting night, we know those are going to happen, and he's got a lot of makes coming his way.
You get 21 points from the bench, and there was a stretch there where Upo had 3 straight buckets early in the second half. Whether it's Keen or Buchanan hit a big 3, what's it been like to see the bench produce?
It's great. We have a lot of guys that can get it done each and every night, and you never know whose night it's going to be. And so it's a lot of fun knowing that guys are going to show up each and every night.
Tyson, you, Stanley, and Alvaro, right? Is that
Alvaro, yeah.
Alvaro. You guys drew 18 fouls between the 3 of you tonight. Obviously, the team went 27 to 30 on the line. How much more does it open up the game when you guys are able to put that kind of pressure on the defense?
They got us to the free throw line pretty early in that first half, and we were able to capitalize. With any foul, you go to the free throw line, you make 2, and it's, that's what we did tonight. And it's got to be our mentality going forward, especially just to beat them to the bonus and get to the free throws. It slows the game down. It gets us easy points from the free throw line.
What is kind of the outlook for next week? And obviously, 2 in a row. You guys got some momentum now, and going down there. What just the thoughts on trying to continue to stack wins here and go down there and win a championship?
I think it's just we got to just take it one game at a time, one day, and one practice at a time. We're going to have a stretch of 3 games in 3 days, so we just got to focus on our first opponent, and then the rest is just going to take care of itself.
Emmanuel had a really nice stretch there in the early second half. So how much can he help you guys out, give you and Omar a spell, and come make an impact off the bench?
He did a great job tonight. Came in and made an impact right away. Ran the floor hard, rebounded for us. So that's a very valuable piece coming off our bench and a huge part of this team.
Well, there you go. Andrew Meadow and Tyson Degenhart. Appreciate them for joining us here on the ICCU Postgame Show. Again, we're in the Western Collective Studios. Make sure you pick up that Horseshoe Golden Ale, the Orange Chaos Seltzer, next time you're here at ExtraMile Arena or Albertson Stadium. Again, the watch party for all the away football games. We'll see you there for the Wyoming game next week, the Brewery in Garden City. And mentioned Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest, that mobile eBranch online banking right there in your smartphone. And if you have any painting projects, our title sponsor, roepaint.com, roepaint.com. You see their graphic up there in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. There would be no Bronco Nation news without Andy Rowe and company at roepaint.com. So next painting project, support the sponsors, roepaint.com. Jacob says, I saw a big improvement for when they played San Francisco to now. Yeah, I mean, great win. Just got home. I mean, San Francisco game did not go well, but again, a lot of you folks or folks on the chat that were ready to give up on the season or say same old Leon, same old team. I haven't heard from them today. They're pretty quiet. Same old, the trolls are in hiding today after Boise State picks up the biggest non-conference win in several years. I mean, several years. When you talk about beating a top 35 Ken Pom team at home, a team that was in the Elite Eight last season. So it's a monster win. It's a huge win, and there's a reason you're seeing some of the haters staying quiet right about now after Boise State picks up a big-time win, and they don't have much to say. I think we can continue to get the home and homes in the future if they keep it up. Props to Clemson for coming out to play. Randall Clark also saying he was watching with some buddies in North Carolina that were Clemson alums. And we talked about this a little bit on the pregame show a little bit earlier this week, but Clemson did not have to come out here and play this game. There was a wording in the contract where they could have just paid, I think it was $150,000, $175,000, which in the large scheme of college athletics is not that much to just buy out the game and not come. And they agreed to return the favor, come out here and play in a tough environment, a 5-hour plus flight for them all the way out to Boise. You think about Clemson, like it really doesn't make a lot of sense. Why would Clemson play a road game in Boise, Idaho? It really makes zero sense. And so it will be a quad one game for them. They won't get penalized in terms of the tournament and all that. But it was a big opportunity for Boise State. Kudos to Clemson for coming out. And the Broncos, again, took advantage of it and came out here and got the win and were able to, now have a win on their resume that's certainly going to help them come March. So I don't know why Clemson did it, but good for them. And certainly at times was a game that they, were right there for the taking. But that's going to be a long 5+ hour flight back to Clemson tonight, losing that game here at Boise State. But Ridley's Family Markets, we'll hear from Leon Rice in a minute. We've got some highlights as well. We're taking your comments, your thoughts. But I want to thank a few more sponsors. Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com, 13 locations across the state of Idaho, more in the surrounding states. Check them out, shopridleys.com. Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game, whether it's a spa for the back patio, pool table for the game room, a sauna, they got it all at Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game. Locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. They've been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. Check them out, view their full inventory and different options at the spa team. Appreciate our friends over at Lithia Ford Boise as well. Jim Sturk, Jamie Drake and company. Where Ford begins in Idaho, it's at Lithia Ford of Boise. The weather's getting cold. Saw some of that snow mix today flying in this morning. All-wheel drive vehicles, four-wheel drive vehicles. That's a must right now in Idaho as the weather starts to turn rough, and you can get those at Lithia Ford of Boise, whether it's the all-new F-150 Lightning, the electric version, just the regular F-150s, all the different vehicles they have, the Explorers, the Escapes, you name it, the Mustangs, they've got it at Lithia Ford of Boise. Check them out online, view their full inventory of vehicles at LithiaFordBoise.com. TacoBellWorks.com. If you're looking for a job, folks, I highly recommend the career industry that is offered by Taco Bell. They give you free food while you work, half your wages the next day after your shift, and great promotional opportunities at Taco Bell. And oh, by the way, the food is pretty darn good as well. So check them out online, TacoBellWorks.com, or visit one of the area Treasure Valley Taco Bell locations. Maybe a dinner stop for the Raines family tonight on the way home. Taco Bell, love the slushies and the Cantina Bowl and the options they have there. So check them out. SON Management, the Nicolason family, appreciate them. Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. All right, back here live at ExtraMile Arena. The cleanup crew working hard to clean up the arena. We've got Cody Gogler still in the house. Our man Lexus Williams is still in the house down there. So got some things happening here in the arena, in the gym, but wrapping up after a big-time Boise State win tonight. Let's take a look at some of the highlights here. This was early on in the game. Javen Buchanan. And, again, this is courtesy of Jaden Finch from Bronco Nation News, getting some highlights for us. Big bucket there early for Boise State. Tyson Degenhardt, nice three from the corner. He has struggled a little bit from a three-point range this season, but he hits the big one there Omar Stanley short on that, but Tyson Degenhart there with the follow for Boise State. No comments needed there. The great Max team's heading out. But Boise State, again, Omar Stanley with the free throw there on the N1. But Clemson hanging around, huge block in the corner by Alvaro Cardenas. That was late in the half. Nice pass there from Bowie, the left-handed slam by Omar Stanley. Real nice crowd tonight. Again, announced 11,275. Big-time crowd tonight for Boise State. The place was loud. It was packed. And Boise State took advantage of that. There's Tyson Degenhart going coast to coast. Makes the layup there. And again, we're late in the first half at this point. Cardenas again, the trailer, Andrew Meadow. Bang! He connects on the three. Big-time three late in the first half. You see Tyson Degenhart going to the rack as well. He was very aggressive, I thought, in this game, especially early. 20 points, but he had 16 in the first half. There's Bowie with the nice floater, but you need your best player to be your best player in big games. And I thought Tyson Degenhart was big there for Boise State. But Clemson, right before the buzzer, makes the half, the shot right at the half, a 1-point game. Boise State only up one going to the second half. We fast forward to the second half here. Tyson Degenhart. Again, only had 4 points in the second half, but had a couple other nice dishes. There's one to Dylan Anderson underneath the basket. Boise State feeding off the crowd, playing well offensively tonight. There's Tyson Degenhart, the up and under. He scores as well. Boise State, by the way, for the game, shooting 45.5%. Keene, I thought that was a huge shot right as the shot clock was expiring. The pump fake gets open, makes the three. And again, when your bench players can come in and hit big shots like that, I thought that's just a massive development for Boise State to be able to get points off the bench from guys like R.J. Keene. Here comes Boise State in transition. Speaking of R.J. Keene, nice pass to Emmanuel Ugbo with the flush. Ugbo slams it home. He had 3 straight buckets for Boise State. I think we'll see another one of them right there. And Emmanuel Ugbo only plays 8:44, but he hits 3 shots in a row, back-to-back-to-back possessions, helping Boise State extend the lead. There's Tyson Degenhart again as well. Boise State, again, led by double digits for a good chunk of the second half. A huge three-pointer there by Javen Buchanan to help extend the lead as well. The crowd's feeling it. Buchanan's feeling it. Another nice move there into the corner, and there's that man again, Andrew Meadow. Another huge corner three for Boise State. That put Boise State up 59-51 with 9 minutes to go. Again, tough shooting night for Cardenas, doing some other things. Boise State able to control the offensive glass. And how about Julian Bowie right down Main Street there with the layup? That puts Boise State up by double digits. Then you have Buchanan hitting the three. I mean, to have a guy like Javen Buchanan coming off the bench, I mean, just plethora of options here for Boise State. And to get Javen Buchanan buying in to come off the bench is kind of the sixth man with what Meadows doing now. And there's Omar Stanley slamming home the dunk. And Boise State feeling good, looking good. And there's the exclamation point. Andrew Meadow, the step back. Bang! He hits it. Boise State, the crowd's loving it. You saw Matt Bauscher loving it there. The final score, 84-71. Boise State able to win this one, and the Broncos improved to 3-1 on the season. A lot of folks really down on this team after the game against San Francisco. Haven't really heard much from those people lately. Boise State 3-1, got some momentum rolling, and things are good right now. We're going to hear from Leon Rice in just a second, but first, Transportation Compliance Service. Looks like the women's team's coming out to practice, so I'm going to have to hurry up the show here maybe. I'm not sure, but Transportation Compliance Service, check them out, transcomservice.com. You're looking to get into the trucking industry. The trucking industry can help you out to all those things, transcomservice.com. Overall, great options for the overweight permits and things like that. Ashton Genty Gear. If you need some gear, Ashton Genty has you covered at the Blue and Orange Store and the blueandorangestore.com. Ashton Genty, all of his things, you can put money right back in his pocket. Ashton Genty Gear at the Blue and Orange Store, the blueandorangestore.com. Make sure you check them out at the front of the store there. You can order online, blueandorangestore.com, anywhere in the world, or just go to the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall there at the blueandorangestore.com. The Breezy Bundle on Tuesday. He didn't score, but we do have a cool announcement coming from Jackson's on Tuesday. Hot dog and a soda available for $1 at Jackson's. Make sure you check it out. And when I'm in Hassanin, gets a sec, 91 cents for a fountain drink, coffee, or soda at Jackson's, our friends at Jackson's, and we appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. Check them out, Jackson's. And again, 25 cents from every hot dog sold goes to support the Horseshoe Collective and put money back in the pockets of the student athletes at Boise State. Leon Rice meeting with the media. Boise State takes down Clemson. Final score 84-71. Let's hear from Leon Rice after the win.
So we don't care.
You're an Eagles fan?
Huge now, because Kellen, you know. You got to support that. And I called it too. I knew they'd be. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
ACC team in your building, and just with the way last year's game went, just a close game at the half, but just what's it mean you guys to pull that one out?
Huge. First of all, shout out to Brad for doing a home and home with us. You know how hard these are. I mean, he's coming off an Elite Eight. You got a team that rolls in here with 460 starts or something between there. I'm looking at that before the game, and I'm like, golly. They got so much experience and so much veterans and such a good coach that you're like, and you knew the way they started. That team wasn't, like rolling in here going, oh, we're on the road. This is, that's a good team, and it showed right from the start. I thought we had a little, not jitters, but we were too excited. We had travels. We were just, and that's what you want. You want those big games where guys are excited to play.
You went to him early, felt like he gave you a boost. In the second half as well, feels like he's kind of finding his role with this team.
Yeah, he's the connector. Well, he's the connector, and he does all those intangibles and all those tough things, and he kind of connects. So his role, it might not be scoring 20 every night, but God, has he missed a shot this year? I mean, he's just, takes the right shots, feeds the bigs, then gets extra possessions, and he's become a star in his role and has figured stuff out. And that's where, we've grown as a team, and we're going to grow a lot more because 8 guys were not in our uniform last year. And that's their first experience in that against the ACC team that is coming off Elite Eight. Like I said, all those things. You got some pros out there on their team, and you had to play. That team was not going to beat themselves at all. You had to play good enough to beat them, and we, especially in the second half, we did some good things, and we were tough because that's the other thing. I just, looking at the film, you're like, if you can't compete with them on the glass, you're dead, and that's not easy. And we were able to compete with them on the glass, where last year, we were a good rebounding team, and we got our hats handed to us by them down there on the glass. So a great job by all our guys. We had everybody contributed, everybody stepped up, and I think that really helped us grow because of what we had to get ready for, what we had to go out on the floor and do. And that's for Al. He wasn't in our uniform last year, and he hasn't got to play in a lot of home games like this in his life in college basketball. So, you probably won't see a 1 for 10 for him anymore. But he was still in charge of things, handled it, took care of the ball, did some great things. And I mean, I could go, each and every guy made big plays for the team, and Andrew went and got 9 rebounds and some, game-ending ones on the offensive end, and and then Tyson, was Tyson carried us through that first half where we were struggling to score a little bit, and I thought Julian, everybody, and you're gonna see a lot of growth through everybody, and I didn't get Chris in tonight. It was kind of just the way the game was dictating it, where you had to have some experienced guards out there to handle what they were up into us. And, I didn't want to have 2 freshmen out there one time. So it just became, but his time's coming, and he's going to keep getting better and better. He's a good player. He's working through stuff. But I'm so encouraged because it's great experience for a lot of guys that haven't been in that environment before. And they stepped, Emmanuel stepped up and gave us 2 big buckets in a row. Javen made some big plays, so I think everybody brought something, and that was really encouraging.
I mean, 21 points off your bench. I mean,
Yeah.
That's actually 3 in a row from you, man. And then
Yeah.
with Julian hitting a shot and just, I mean, you mentioned
Right.
Keane. I mean, I know your starters are your starters for a reason, but
Yeah.
when your bench is giving you 21 points in a game like this, what's that say?
It's huge. In a game like this, that's the key, is because that's a hell of a team we just beat, and a team that will play in the NCAA tournament, a team that will be in contention for a league title, all those things that you saw them do last year. And so for our young guys and inexperienced guys to handle it and grow up like that, that's a great sign, and it gets you excited as a coach because, I mean, it's like we're all really happy when Ashton Genty gets the ball and carries it 32 times. That's kind of how I feel about Tyson. One time I subbed him out, planned on giving him a little rest, and then we got somebody with another foul, and so I didn't even sub him in. He just walked and said, "I got you, coach." And so I'm not going to tell Tyson not to go back in and no, rest more because, But the great thing that I'm encouraged by is Dylan and Ems and Javen. They're just going to keep getting better and better, and then then you'll be able to keep working more guys out there, and there'll be different guys in different nights with matchups and guys that are cooking, and that's my challenge as a coach to figure out who, how the parts are fitting. Sometimes that's a guessing game, and when they're all playing good, you usually guess right, so that's good.
I was going to ask you about Andrew. He scored 10 of your last 16 points over the final 4 minutes. How nice is it to kind of see another closer emerge and to kind of compliment him?
Yeah, and just he's a machine at the free throw line. I mean, we always tell our guys free throws don't win all the games, but they just win all the close ones. And to go 27 for 30 from the line, you go 17 for 30 and it's a coin toss game. And to have big guys that can shoot free throws, that's valuable.
You hit the rebounds, we talked about it coming into the game, but you lose it by 15 there and you lose the game by 18. Tonight you win the rebounds by 8, you win the game by double digits. I mean, it's just the mindset thing. I don't know, but just how important of a key was that, and to see you actually win the battle on the glass.
Yeah, and that's where also being at home, because the crowd gives these guys energy. I mean, Tyson, playing 38 minutes, and I think our crowd lifted us through some of those. That was a heck of a 2.5 hour battle or whatever it was, and I mean, the refs had their hands full on every possession. I mean, the collisions. I said that we 2 days ago at practice, our guys were getting after it, and you could hear the hits. And I'm like, oh boy. Then I just okay, you guys get the point. Let's back this off a little bit and kind of save those hits for Clemson. And so, every possession, because of the way they rebound, the way we rebound, there's collisions, there's bodies, it's smash up derby in there.
I know it's one game, you're 4 games into the season, but I guess just big picture wise, to have this now, on your list, for the rest of the season and just momentum, whatever.
Yeah.
Just what can you say about what a win like this can mean for you now, but also a
Yeah. Yeah, 3-1 feels a lot better than 2-2 right now because you played great teams, and the great thing about what we've done in the last month is we played really good teams in our scrimmages, and it built up. We've made a lot of progress with a lot of guys, and now the challenge is we got to keep making progress. We got to go to the Caymans and play in a tournament. These are fun life experiences for our guys, and we're going there to get that done. I mean, these guys, but we got great momentum, and that's where you need all 10 guys. 3 games in 3 days, and you got to beat travel, and it's somewhere past Cuba. I think I think that it's way out there. So we gotta beat that. We gotta deal with some things, and then go compete against a team that's coming from the East Coast. So there's challenges.
There's Leon Rice. He spoke for a few more minutes. We'll go ahead and put that on the YouTube channel, or it may already be up by now. So if you want to hear the full press conference from Leon Rice, that is up on the YouTube channel. As you can see behind me, the women's team is out here practicing. They've got a game tomorrow against the College of Idaho. Gordy Prisnell and company. So if you're looking for something to do tomorrow afternoon, I believe they have a rare kind of Monday afternoon game. It's a kids game. A lot of school kids will be there. The women's basketball team is undefeated right now at Boise State. So check them out, and they are practicing, and Gordy Presnell was kind enough to tell me to take my time here before I have to hurry out while they are practicing. Bronco 130 saying Buchanan was a great fit. Let's see what else we got here. Regardless of the level he was playing at before coming to Boise, dude can ball. Totally agree with that. Folks, Bowie, as good as advertised, really like what I'm seeing from him. San Francisco, yeah, a lot of people are ready to freak out after that game. I think it's going to prove that ended up not being that bad of a loss and maybe help toughen them up a little bit and work on some things. Cardenas, way to keep driving into the lane, drawing fouls, great win. I mean, yeah, he went 1 for 10 from the field, but again, had 8 points, still was able to have 4 rebounds. And the big thing for me is 6 assists, only 1 turnover. So big time game for Alvaro Cardenas, even despite the 1 for 10 shooting. I thought he still impacted the game, which is something you really can't say at times for some Boise State guards in the past. Lots of Boise State fans aren't used to sports where it's understandable that you sometimes lose games. No, we had fans, same old Leon, same old team after they lost to San Francisco. And again, those people are pretty quiet. Is it going to help come March after our seeding last year? I don't believe anything the selection committee does. I get it. That's fair for you to say, but in the end, I would you rather have lost this game? Like, no. So yeah, you win the game, you move on, you see what does. But I certainly think that, it's a big time win that you would expect to benefit you come March. Great game. Roy says, great game, quality win against a quality opponent. Love listening to Bob and Abe. And, Leon's been here since the Kellen days. Yeah, he definitely has. So, again, Idaho Central Credit Union, appreciate that. Melinda saying kept the foot on the gas, didn't just stall at the end. Wish that Clemson hadn't hit that last 3. I think a 16-point win, maybe a 71, 84-68 win might have looked a little better than 84-71, but it is what it is. Boise State gets the 13-point win. Going to be the year, Tom says, and totally. I think there's certainly a lot of reason, optimism, hope that that's going to be the case. But again, Boise State 84-71. They win this one. This is the Idaho Central Credit Union post-game show. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner. But again, that easiest, that mobile e-branch, online banking right there in your smartphone. We got the app right there on the Rains families. You can't see it there. Why is it not loading? There it is, the ICCU app. So check them out, ICCU.com. And again, the Western Collective, whether it's that Horseshoe Golden Ale, the Orange Chaos Seltzer, check them out. Pick them up. Albertson Stadium, ExtraMile Arena, local retailers, and delicious beers, seltzers. Western Collective's got some great options, and you can pick those up at Albertson Stadium. And again, you can support the Horseshoe Collective. They give a portion of the proceeds to Boise State and the Horseshoe Collective there at Boise State. All right, I got to jump off of here. They're in the middle of practice. It's getting kind of quiet. I don't want to be that guy that kind of messes up their practice here, even though Gordy Presnell did say that I could stay. But again, Boise State wins it 84-71, the final score, 84-71 over Clemson. They'll head to the Cayman Islands. Nice weekend if you're a football fan. Football, basketball, if you're a Boise State fan. Big-time win for the Broncos. They get the win, 84-71. You had the football win on Saturday. So just kind of a fun weekend for Boise State fans, and we'll see what the college football playoff rankings say on Tuesday. Mike Prater, 9 a.m. tomorrow. We'll break this all down some more. Big weekend for Boise State, and we will, talk about that. And we got a cool announcement to make as well. Join us Monday. Cool announcement, adding to our staff here on BNN, part-time help on the way. And I think you guys are going to really be excited about this. So thank you guys. Been a long day. Flew on about 5 hours of sleep over from Oakland. Had the football game last night. Made it back in time for the basketball game today. And excited to have a couple of wins to talk about with Mike Prater on Monday. So, again, ICCU.com. Rowe Paint, our title sponsor. Check them out, roepaint.com. All your painting needs. Make sure you support our title sponsor. And, again, the Western Collective Studios here. So, guys, free show, hour-long post-game show on YouTube. As I say every week as I sign off, BNN50 deals the promo code. If you want to subscribe, we'd love to have you. BNN50 deal gets you a full year of coverage at BroncoNationNews.com. And at a minimum, hit that like and that subscribe button on the YouTube channel here and help us build our YouTube channel as we continue to grow this thing here. But great viewership. Everybody's excited about football. Go pop a cold one, Wade says. Well done. Appreciate you, Wade. May get some food and get a cold one or two on the way home. Watch the second half of that Chiefs game maybe. So appreciate you guys. Boise State again, 84-71. Big win for the football team. Big win for the basketball team. Fun weekend. Congratulations, Boise State fans. Mike Prater and I will be ready to break it all down for you. And I got to give a shout out to Signature Roofing, mysignatureroofing.com. Check them out. Repairs, re-roofs, whether you need inspections, free estimates, they got you covered at Signature Roofing, mysignatureroofing.com. And if you want to leave a voicemail for Prater and I for tomorrow morning, speakpipe.com/BNN. Leave us a voicemail, speakpipe.com/BNN on the Signature Roofing voice inbox, and we will play those tomorrow morning with Mike Prater and myself. But we got some RJ Keene content coming soon. Thanks to our friends at Signature Roofing, Rain's family loving our roof from My Signature Roofing, and you will if you check them out as well at mysignatureroofing.com. Appreciate it, guys. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Mike Prater and I will talk to you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Bronco Nation News Live. BroncoNationNews.com. Again, the final score signing off from ExtraMile Arena. Boise State 84, Clemson 71. Big time March marquee victory for the basketball team. They're 3-1. They're heading to the Cayman Islands. We're heading there as well. But first, Mike Prater and I, 9 a.m. tomorrow. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.